Could Tesla's new Cybertruck coming out late next year help push Ford into bankruptcy? I'm Jonathan Stewart, and welcome to Cleanerwatt. In this video, we're going to dive into some numbers and projections and really a thought experiment to see how the success of the Tesla Cybertruck selling somewhere 300,000, 500,000 trucks, how this could affect Ford's financials and Ford's future. Also, let me know your opinion. Do you think the Tesla Cybertruck will be able to steal sales away from Ford? Late in 2018, Forbes put out an article entitled, "Ford to Go Bankrupt in the Next Recession, Tesla CEO Says." This article quoted Elon Musk saying, "Making a car company successful is monumentally difficult. There have been many attempts to create a car company, and they have all failed. Ford and Tesla made it barely through the last recession. There's a good chance Ford doesn't make it in the next recession." Now here we are in 2020, almost 2 years after this article was published, and we are seeing a very weak automotive market. Sales for almost every major auto manufacturer for the first half of 2020 as compared to the first half of 2019 are down substantially. Tesla is one of the few auto companies that actually managed to make and sell more vehicles in the first half of 2020 than they did in the first half of 2019. As you can see from the chart, Ford is down 23.4%. Now, something that I want to talk about here and something that I'll actually make clearer near the end of the video is that Ford is not necessarily in danger of bankruptcy today, but I want to show in this thought experiment how the Tesla Cybertruck combined with a weakening auto market might push Ford into potential bankruptcy in the future. Ford does have a lot of strength as a company, and they've been building vehicles for over 100 years. Ford and Tesla are the only American auto companies that have not gone bankrupt in their histories. As of 2019, the Ford F-Series pickup trucks once again were named the best-selling vehicle in the United States for the 38th consecutive year. And for 43 straight years, the Ford F-Series pickup trucks have been the top-selling pickup truck in the United States. However, there are a few big issues, and one of the big issues for Ford is that they're putting all their eggs into one basket, and that basket is holding the Ford F-150 and the rest of the Ford F-Series pickup trucks. According to this Fox Business article entitled "Why the Ford F-150 is a Profit Machine," Morgan Stanley analyst Adam Jonas has estimated that the F-Series Ford pickup trucks make up somewhere around 90% of Ford's global profits. Ford is also moving away from other vehicles besides trucks and SUVs. Several years ago, Ford laid out their plans to stop making all passenger cars except the Mustang. By 2022, Ford plans to eliminate the Taurus, the Fusion, and their subcompact Fiesta. To illustrate this transition, how this is actually working out in real life, I want to take a look at some charts and see the percentage that trucks made up of Ford sales from 2018, 2019, and then the data we have here in 2020. If you look at the sales mix for Ford in the United States in 2018, you can see from this chart that trucks made up 45.6% of their sales. In 2019, their truck business made up 51.3% of their sales. And in the first half of 2020, trucks made up 52.8% of all the USA sales for Ford. So you can see here that Ford's transition away from cars is happening, and they're becoming very reliant upon their truck business, even more than they have been in the past. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Ford, however, does have a big lead in the truck market, and they hold a lion's share of this market. For the full year of 2019, out of the 2.48 million full-size trucks sold in the United States, the Ford F-Series pickup truck line had 36% of the market. But how does this market share change when we introduce a new product, the Tesla Cybertruck, to the mix? Will the Tesla Cybertruck be able to capture some of this market share? And how will that affect Ford as a business? According to this recent Forbes article, which estimates from the Cybertruck Owners Club that the reservations for the Tesla Cybertruck seem to be well over 700,000. The first Cybertruck delivery should happen sometime in late 2021 and really start ramping into 2022, 2023, and they are currently building their factory in Texas to build these Cybertrucks. I'd like to do a thought experiment here now and see just how this market might look if Tesla sells 300,000 Cybertrucks in 2023 and 500,000 Cybertrucks in 2025. I do understand that in some ways the Cybertruck will hit a little bit different market than the Ford F-150, but I think there will be a lot of overlap and a lot of people will choose to purchase a Cybertruck over a Ford F-150. So here's a chart illustrating how the market share percentages might change when Tesla enters the market with their mass production of the Cybertruck. So in that first column, you can see what the market share looked like in 2019. If Tesla is able to sell around 300,000 Cybertrucks in 2023, and if you say that each one of these companies lose sales in the same ratio to the market share they have, you can see that that would reduce Ford's market share to 32% in 2023 potentially, and in 2025, if Tesla is able to deliver somewhere around 500,000 Cybertrucks, that could reduce the F-Series market percentage to 29%. Now, a 7% decline from 36 to 29 does not seem like a large decline, but this can have some serious financial implications. As we mentioned, in 2018, Adam Jonas estimated that the Ford F-150 potentially made up 90% of Ford's profits. That same article pointed out that the average selling cost of a Ford truck in 2018 was somewhere around $47,000. And according to analysts, Ford makes roughly $10,000 profit on every truck that it sells. So if Ford does indeed lose a 7% market share, 7% of the somewhere around 2.5 million full-size trucks that are sold in the United States each year, that would mean that the 7% could represent a loss of somewhere north of 170,000 truck sales. If the average selling price of a Ford pickup truck here in 2020 is slightly up to around $50,000 per truck, that could potentially mean $8.5 billion of lost revenue. And if Ford is actually making $10,000 of profit per truck, that would mean $1.7 billion of lost profit. If the Tesla Cybertruck is able to eat into their business and Ford does lose somewhere around 7% of their market share and they lose the potential $1.7 billion of profit, how could that affect Ford's financials? Well, if you look at Ford's net income for the full year of 2018, they made $3.68 billion of profit. However, when you look at the full year of 2019, that net income amount went down to $47 million. Fast forward here to the first 2 quarters of 2020, and you can see that in Q1 of 2020, Ford lost around $2 billion. And in Q2 2020, while they technically made around $1.1 billion of net income, if you subtract the $3.5 billion gain from Argo AI, that number would have represented a $1.9 billion loss. So as you can see, a $1.7 billion loss of net income could really negatively affect Ford. Now, I do realize that Ford is not standing still, and they do have some new exciting electric vehicles and new exciting vehicles coming out in the future. In fact, according to this electric article that just came out, Ford has started construction of their new factory for their electric F-150 pickup truck. And according to this article, which came out a few months ago, Ford should bring out the electric F-150 sometime in mid-2022. Also, next year, Ford will start delivering their new Mustang Mach-E, the all-electric SUV they announced earlier. However, I don't believe the Mustang Mach-E alone will make a big dent in their financials. Also, like any other new EV project, it's doubtful that Ford will actually make any kind of profit from their EV programs for a few years. So if Tesla starts delivering their Cybertruck sometime late 2021, early 2022, and if Tesla is able to continue to be profitable as a company with their existing lines and also get the Cybertruck profitable quickly, this potentially gives them a big advantage over Ford. And if the market buys a Cybertruck like I believe they will, and if Ford starts losing market share, this could really cut into Ford's cash, which is helping fuel their future plans. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Ford is not in serious danger right now, but this is a thought experiment to see what the future might look like. I do really hope that Ford does well and is able to sell profitably EVs. However, as these numbers show, Ford's transition may not happen quickly enough. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something as well. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified when new videos are published. Also, if you did like the video, please consider clicking that like button so other people can find the video. And I'd like to take a moment here at the end of the video to thank the Patreon supporters who support me every month and help me bring this content to you. If you'd like to find out more about the Patreon community that I've set up, you can find a link in the description below. Thank you so much.